Yeah, I think you have to have belief in it, and then the people that you surround yourself have to have belief in it too. Because you don't want someone working for you, again, if they just don't understand what you want, or they don't see the dream itself, they don't see that vision. And I know, sometimes that's hard, especially if in this economy and stuff, to turn down positions, but if you truly don't have that belief, then I don't think you should take it on as a project. Right.
And I think I would like to chime in there, is that's where tenacity comes in. You do not get discouraged just because people were throwing cold water on your vision and dream. You have to stick with it.
I have a question, John, that kind of related to you're half answering it, because everybody talked about passion, and I appreciate that, obviously. I have a passion for my own business, but that's something that you have to even start. I mean, that has nothing to do with your ability to succeed. The problem is after that I find. It's after the passion. I know what I want to do. I feel like I'm getting somewhere, but there's so much logistical, and once you actually get into doing something, whether it's a business or an organization or a nonprofit, it's that second part that's the killer, right? When you're in deep and you're blowing through money and you don't have a job and you have a great idea and you're starting to succeed, but you're like, am I going to make it? Am I going to run out of money before I actually get this to where it's clear I can make it?
So what's your question?
So after the passion,
now who are you asking?
Well, I think I know passion, even Dave, they all.
Well,
I just
the
only was
question
focused. I guess I don't know
person.
how to form the question. It's after the passion, how do you make it the whole 9 yards?
And who are you asking?
I think I'll go back to you because you started there. It seemed like that was the focus of what you're doing, and I'm thinking the rest of it is the harder part.
Right.
You got to have a passion
and
to start.
A lot of it's belief too. I mean, I heard the one story of the gold miner who was 3 feet from his gold vein, but he had worked for a year at it and just ended up abandoning it. And someone else walked in and in 5 minutes hit it. So a lot of it's the belief that you can do it. I mean, yeah, and it does. True faith. You have to have faith and just keep it up. Just keep up with what you're doing and find other sources of funding it, and just doing different things like that to really get into what you're believing in.
Now, did you have a follow-up question, Dave?
No, I don't think so.
No? Okay. Who else has a question?
I have a question. The question is, and let any one of you answer it, is it not true that if you are a true entrepreneur and it is your dream or your vision, doesn't every entrepreneur have that attribute, or they wouldn't be an entrepreneur?
So Dave, you want to take that?
Sure, and I will link that to the handout I gave you, which gave the life of one man. If I would borrow this back from you, Dave. And that man's life, the story of a man said, failed in business, age 22. Ran for legislature, defeated, age 23. Failed in business again, age 24. Elected to legislature, age 25. Sweetheart died, age 26. Had a nervous breakdown, age 27. Defeated for speaker, age 29. Defeated for elector, age 31. Defeated for Congress, age 34. Elected to Congress, age 37. Defeated for Congress, age 39. Defeated for Senate, age 46. Defeated for Vice President, age 47. Defeated for Senate, age 49. Elected President of the United States, age 51. Does anybody know who that is?
Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
And that is what you have to be, because you may hit rock bottom with your ideas, and you may be out of finances, but you have to keep going, and you have to find some way to succeed. And that is the American way that Ronald Reagan was talking about too. And you cannot just be the privileged that are succeeding in this country. And we have to help each other. We have, like Benjamin Franklin, when he said about he's thankful for the people in Philadelphia that helped finance him for his business. We need private capital. We're not going to be a socialist country. It can't all come from the government. Private capital has to step in and have these business incubators. Okay, it's going to take all of us though.
Lee, did you have a follow-up question to dig deeper into that same area?
No, not really. That was basically my question.
Okay.
Whether you all agree that
No follow-up.
a true entrepreneur is somebody who has a vision and is willing to pursue it at all costs, whether to find all your principles, attitude, and faith, and all that.
All right.
I think every
is there
entrepreneur
another
has
question? Another question? Anyone have? got time for about one more.
I'd like to make a comment on Lee's suggestion.
Okay, well, this is away from the format, but go right ahead. And well, I've learned some lessons here today that are valuable, and I appreciate you all.
I think you're right on with this business of entrepreneurship, having that vision. But I also want to submit that I'll refer you to Michael Gerber's model, the E-myth. Picture a three-legged stool. Entrepreneurship is just one leg of a three-legged stool that is a requisite to be successful in business. The other two legs being manager and technician. All three are required to be successful in business. And of course, we don't have time to go into what those are, but I refer you to the E-myth by Michael Gerber.
All right, well, what we're going to do now is go back around the table for final comments. And I ask everybody to share something, either what you're thinking now that you weren't thinking before you came here. How did this affect you? And I ask you to do this for a couple of reasons. One is it gives good feedback to the group, but also for your own benefit, because it's real easy to come to things like this and meet some people. We've heard David speak, we've heard Lori and others speak to the same topic, we've heard some discussion, and it's easy to come to something like this and leave and nothing really changes. So take a moment for your own sake and think about what's really changed. What are you thinking now that you weren't thinking before you came here today? Or what's in your heart now that wasn't there before? Or what are you going to do as a result of being here today? And just share anything along those lines you'd like. And then also, what's coming up that people here might like to know about? If you know of a seminar, a workshop, a book, a magazine article, a website, anything at all that people here might like to know about. Let's keep it fairly short, though, because we want to get out by 1:30. So
well, I might as well start since I was just speaking.
Actually, I'm going to start.
You start, John?
In order to go this way, we're going to give you the final word. So what I'm thinking is I need to organize this much more tightly, and I apologize. I didn't fill anybody in on anything, and the ground rules weren't clear, and I thought David did a phenomenal job given the very poor instructions that I gave him. It was a great message, and I appreciated hearing it. And you know, sometimes it's not so much that we hear new information, but we get reminded of things that we already know that we need to do, and I think those were good, inspirational quotations you had, and I appreciate you being here.
I had to cut a couple minutes off the speech last night because he told me the time constraints. So we did well.
Let's pass this around like a talking stick, and just if you'd share whatever you'd like about how this day has affected you and anything that's coming up. Now, one thing that's coming up, of course, is the Idea Cafe. That's every Friday at 2 o'clock. That will continue on, and that's meant to be just a one-time shot for people when they're at a turning point. So it's totally different than this meeting. I would hope that people would come back to this that are interested in helping us think about startup so that it's sort of a community of practice, and we'll see how that works today, and we'll do it for 2 or 3 weeks and see if there seems to be a need for it. So,
I think it's great to get all of your individual perspectives on this topic. I'll add one more thing. Today, at 6:30 at the Englewood Public Library, there's a Denver Entrepreneurs / Business Owners meetup.
yes,
That might be interesting for some of
and that's a good group. I've gone to their meetings.
This was a good group. I wasn't sure what to expect today. One of the things that someone had told me when I called and told them that I was leaving a previous profession, she asked what I was going to do, and I said, I don't know. I just know I can't do this anymore. And she said, oh, you're living my screensaver. And today reminded me of it. I don't think of it very often. But she said on her screensaver, she has leap and the net will appear. And I use that quite often. Leap and the net will appear. It's what you have to do in business. And it always does. The net always appears.
Now, I will say one thing. I think before people spend a significant amount of time or money on something, you have your idea. I think there is a need to bounce it off somebody that's going to help you think it through. And I find a good source for that kind of feedback is a good public accountant. And a good CPA or a public accountant won't tell you if you've got a good idea or not, but they'll help you see the financial implications, and they'll help keep you legal. So with that one proviso, I think you do have to take the lead.
But I'll also say that
And there are others.
most CPAs I've met are not entrepreneurs, so a big caution there.
Well, and you want that negative pushback. That's actually what you're looking for when you talk to them. But people like Robert are much more helpful in developing the idea, that's for sure.
Hi, I enjoyed the group.